So we're going to make some carne asada burritos here. And how we're going to do that is I'll show you. I have my grill preheating here. I have a, let's see, I have a very, very good, let's see if I can get this adjusted correctly for you. Very good blender. And these are wet burritos, so I need to make a enchilada sauce. And to do that, let's see, where is it at? Okay, I need a tablespoon, and I need some chili powder. Now, I've made these before where you make them with, you know, fresh chilies and all this. Tonight, I just feel lazy, and so I have some Hatch chili by Melissa's, and this is the mild. And this time of year is actually when you can buy this stuff, so that's why I'm making it at the moment. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of noise in the background. Never mind that, doctor's orders and such. I am cooking and I'm not making a video or whatever. So here's a tablespoon of chili powder that I'm going to put in there, like so, in the blender. And again, that was that kind of stuff. Now, I have 2 cups of chicken broth, homemade, but you can buy store-bought or whatever, it doesn't matter. And we'll put that back here. Oh, and let's see. I have left in this can of tomato sauce about 10 ounces. I'm going to put the rest of that in there. We're going to cook this down somewhat in order to make a really good enchilada sauce that's a little bit thick. Ooh, I got splashed. Let's see. Now I have about a teaspoon of salt here. Not crazy amount. There's probably about a half a teaspoon, I'm going to say. And I like mine with just a little bit of tang, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of white vinegar in there, just a touch, like that. That's enough. Okay, I'll blend this up real quick. And there it is. So now we have to cook it. And I've got a saucepan here. To this saucepan, oh, let's see, I'm just going to add a little bit of oil. Oh, and I forgot to add something to that. So I think there's about 3 cups of liquid in there. I'm just adding just a little oil to the bottom of this saucepan, just enough so that when I spread it around, and a lot of times I'll just use my hand to kind of spread it out, just so that it coats the bottom just a little bit, not a huge amount. I'd say that was probably a little less than a tablespoon. I forgot to add something to this, and I forgot to add about, for that amount of liquid, I'm going to say that's about 3 cups or so. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of flour. One, 2, and 3. All right. Now, I don't want to put that on there. What I want to do is I want to put this lid back on, and we'll blend it up just a little bit. There we go. So we have our enchilada sauce that has to be cooked and reduced and heated up. Hey, Jay Watterson 69 says, hey AIG. Hey man, awesome to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Let me see here. I wonder what channel we're actually broadcasting on right now. I bet you I am actually broadcasting to the live streams channel. Give me just a second here. For some reason, no, it's not. It's on the other one. So anyway, while I get my computer issues sorted out here, I have some stuff, and I add this to my saucepan, and this we're going to cook for a bit. We're just going to bring it to a simmer, and it's going to reduce a bit, meaning less liquid, and it's going to thicken up a bit, and that'll be the sauce for our burritos. I'm making actually wet burritos tonight. Let's see. So, sorry if I miss your chat. For some reason, I have a laptop here as well that's supposed to be picking up the live chat, but for whatever reason, it's not. Well, all right, so let's take this over to the stove. You can see I have some refried beans already made. I showed how to make those in the last video, so I didn't feel like I needed to show you that tonight. And I'm going to turn on the fan and turn on some light. And basically what needs to happen is this needs to cook a little bit, and every once in a while we'll give it a stir. I have it on, that's probably too high a heat. I just want it on about medium. We'll let that cook up. Now let's go outside and look at the grill, because this is where the magic of the Carne Asada is going to happen. Let's see, so here I am outside, and let's look down. Oh yeah, those coals are really hot. What I'm gonna do is I'll probably spread those out just a little bit. So let me set this down over here. Yep, you can see it. And I'm gonna lift off the grill for just a second. I have like a little hook thing that helps me do this. And then I'm gonna spread these coals out a little bit better, so that they're spread out over the whole surface of the grill. Now most of the time when I grill, I like to grill over indirect heat, but this is the kind of recipe that's like a direct heat cooking. I'll show you. I spread them out real good there, and we'll go back inside here. I'm going to let those coals cook down just a little bit more until it's time to put the meat on. Now I have some meat marinating, and when we go out and grill it, I'll tell you all about it and how I got the recipe and how it's done and all of that stuff. But that's something that it has to sit a few hours, so I decided to wait a little bit with it in there. Now here's our sauce. Just stirring it a bit. I'm just gonna taste the edge of this here and see if it needs. That's how it should taste. Okay, so it says I got a message here. Let's see. Let's see. Go to chat on YouTube with your laptop, and then the comment section. All right, chat settings. Look again here. Then select pop out chat. Okay, that's what I thought. Let me try that and see. For some reason, it's not letting me do that. Pop out chat. Yeah, it's not for whatever reason showing the comments, so I'm gonna have to watch it on the stream here, or do my best. So wait until I'm looking at the actual camera to do that. So let's see. Let's cook this a little bit. That's gonna be good. Now I didn't add anything except exactly what I showed you there. That's good. Ooh. I didn't add any extra spices or anything like that. I'm trying to make this like pretty mild and not too offensive to anyone. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to make a salsa verde with tomatillos. Okay, where is my whatchamacallit? Here it is. All right, so we have our blender back, and I'm going to drain the tomatillos real quick. All right, so into this blender, I'm dropping a can of tomatillos. One sec. Then I have some chipotle peppers. You can buy everything I'm showing you here today. You can buy at Walmart. And so I'm going to use for that amount of tomatillos, 1 can. I'll put 1 chipotle pepper in there. Here we are. Fishing out a pepper. And, oh, that's like a half a pepper. I want a whole pepper. There we go. That's a pepper. Yeah, it's chipotles and adobo sauce. It's San Marcos chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. And you can get these at just about any Walmart. I've found these like in Total Hicksville before. I love chipotle. Oof. I love chipotles though. Now, so here we are. Now, I have some cilantro, about that much. I'm going to drop that in there. And now, I'll show you, right? And that's literally the entire recipe. That's literally everything that goes in there. Yeah, that sauce will have a spicy kick, but it's addictive. Everybody that tries this says it's their like favorite salsa. So here we go. And that's it. That's the entire sauce recipe. So I'll pour it in a bowl so you can see it here. And our enchilada sauce is cooking nicely too. So let's see. Come on, let me do this. Sometimes the technology doesn't want to cooperate. So there's our bowl. I'm just going to dump it in. You'll have to trust me. And I'll show it to you here. This is one of the great salsas ever invented. It's my own take on salsa verde. Everyone who's tried it loves it. Okay, let's go back over here, and we will do a check on our enchilada sauce, which is actually now simmering. It's simmering a little bit too quick. I don't like how fast that's cooking. But that's about what it should look like thickness-wise. I'm just going to give it a real good stir here. And I think I'm going to turn it off, because that's what it should look like, right like that. I'm turning it off. And we'll let that sit for a minute. Have you noticed how chipotles and adobo sauce kind of smell like barbecue sauce, but taste nothing like barbecue sauce? Absolutely, positively, I have. That's because, and I've actually made chipotle peppers before. That's because chipotles, all it is smoked jalapenos. And I've made them in the smoker before. And usually I smoke them till they dry out. And then eventually, adobo sauce is another thing. I actually have not made that. When I've made my own chipotles, they've been just smoked jalapenos that dry on the smoker over the course of time. But that's why it smells like barbecue, is because they're smoked. All right, now, here we go. Boom. So we have some splaining to do, and I'll do that outside. Looks like I'm going to have dinner done a little bit early, but that's okay, because this is a thing you can make ahead a little bit. In fact, most restaurants probably do. And here we are. So let's come outside for a bit and chill out, and I'm want to explain this to you. Okay, let me sit down. So what we've got here, I got this recipe from a Mexican friend of mine. The key, as I understand it, with carnitas is to use flank steak and to slice it really thin with the grain exposed. And I'll explain that in just a minute. What I wanted to explain first is the marinade. And so I have, I don't know, a couple pounds of this flank steak that I've butterflied out, and there's videos on YouTube for how to do that. But I've butterflied it so it's real thin, and now what I have to do is I have to take this and grill it. But it's been sitting in this marinade for several hours. There's a chipmunk over there. You might hear him in a minute. Anyway, you marinate the meat anywhere from 2 to 12 hours. It's better overnight, but honestly, I just woke up this morning really hungry for this, and this is several hours instead of 12 hours. Now the marinade, I just do it in a gallon Ziploc bag with the meat, and all the marinade is like a quarter cup of oil of your choice, juice of 2 limes, a quarter cup of orange juice, some salt, pepper, and cilantro, and like I don't know, about 4 cloves of crushed garlic. And you let that sit. You turn it every once in a while, and I just make the marinade right up in the bag. So I take the meat and I season it with salt and pepper, and then I toss it in the bag, and then I make the marinade on top of it in the bag like that. All right, let's throw it on the grill here. How are we going to film this? Let's see how to film. So there's our grill. I have to get a little creative here. I think I'm going to film with one hand and dish up with the other. Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. Again, this is live. This is not my typical production quality. So I'm going to show you. So it's cooked over, you know, pretty high heat and very quickly. And so this is what your carne asada should look like. You see how the grain is there, and you see how thick that is. It should be pretty thin because I butterflied this. So I'm going to just start throwing these on, and I'll show you the results here in a minute. Wow, that smells fantastic. You have no idea. And it's a flank steak is a fairly crappy cut of meat, but if you slice it thin and you marinate it and cook it quickly, and then chop it into small pieces, it's a tough cut of meat. But the point being, if you prepare it right, meaning exactly as I've just described, then it tastes really good, and it's not, you know, a bad cut of meat or anything if you do it like that. So let's look. So that's how much meat I have on the grill right now. Give me 2 seconds. I need to wash my hands. I'll be right back. You guys can watch the grill cook. Hopefully you'll see some smoke and stuff. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I got a plate that we can dish our stuff up into. So over my shoulder here, our meat is cooking, and let's chat. Um, you know, I'll probably do a few minutes on one side, flip it over, a few minutes on the other side, take it off the heat. And because this is going into burritos, I'll slice it up. I'll show you all of that, and we should be good. The last time I did a live stream on this channel, I think I lost 100 subscribers, which, okay, whatever. But what it did allow me to do was to connect with you guys a little bit and ask you what kind of content you wanted to see. And I've pretty much stuck to what you guys said. You want cooking, you want Dutch oven cooking, and knife making stuff and adventure stuff. Well, I'm at the wrong time for me personally to do a lot of adventure stuff, but that is coming. Um, but everything else I've pretty much stuck to. So if you guys have suggestions and you see this video later and you're not actually watching live, just leave a comment Also, it really helps me when you guys like a video or comment on a video or subscribe or whatever. Um, just helps me know that you guys give a crap about what you're seeing, um, and you know, it's motivation. Basically, the whole reason for this channel is that I'm trying to leave behind a little bit of knowledge for my kids and descendants that come after me. Um, a video that's incoming very quickly is a video where I recreated a family recipe for Pella bologna. It's coming. It's not ready yet. It's actually currently in the oven, and in the next few days I'll show that. But why would I have to recreate that recipe? Well, you know, 150 years ago, nobody wrote the fucking thing down, and so, you know, nobody thought that maybe someday that family recipe for bologna from Pella, which is now extremely world famous, would mean anything to anybody. And of course, it's changed over time. But I actually did a lot of research, and I think I'm pretty close to what was being made back then. And um, the video's incoming. The stuff is currently in the oven, coming up to temperature. Uh, but anyway, that's the whole point behind this channel, is I do stuff for later on. But a lot of times I'll make some video for my kids and everybody flips out and loves it and all of this. But um, kind of what I'm interested in is not only my kids liking what I do and my descendants that come after me, but the people that are watching today. So this is like a time capsule, right? Maybe 150, 200 years from now, after I'm long dead, somebody's going to see this. This is a time capsule of what it was like to live in this time period, um, and eat like we ate and all these sorts of things. And everybody living right now looks at this, and this is all normal. But in the future, this is going to look effing crazy, what we're doing and how we do it and all this. But you know, listen, I'm recording what we did. This is normal to me right now, and that's how it works. So um, I also, in addition to trying to leave a record for my descendants, I'm trying to entertain the people that like it. I had no idea that this channel was going to have, you know, people that actually watched it. I was mainly doing it for my kids, but since there are people modern day that want to watch it, let me know what you want me to do, what you want me to do less of, more of, etc., and I will do my best. Anyway, let's flip that meat. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ah, oh yeah, that looks good. Look at that. Boom. All right. So I'm just gonna flip the rest of these here. I'll probably have to uh, move some of these more to the outside and some more to the center. Oh yeah. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Bam. Carne Asada. Holy moly. This is going to be good. Wow. Lots of smoke. Woo. Woo. All right. All right, I'm back. Hey, we have a bunch of watchers right now. If you guys, we're grilling, so if you have questions you want to ask or comments or whatever. If you see them now, I'll respond live. Uh, oh, that looks good. These are going to be great burritos. Uh, I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs. The unfortunate thing is that I have my laptop set up that's supposed to be like showing me the live comments, but unless I'm actually looking at the screen here, I won't see your comments or questions or whatever. So here you are. Let's do it. What barbecue are you using? Well, that's a Weber Master Touch. I don't know what that means, but basically, I'll show you the barbecue. Right, it's basically any Weber kettle is going to be pretty equivalent, and I like the Weber barbecues. Um, but I'll show you some of the features of this one. In the center here, I can lift that center out and dump more coals in, and each of these ends, like this end and that end over there, I can lift that up and I can drop in more coals. It also came with, if you look below, that's a mechanism to get the ashes out as you're cooking. And then it came with a couple extra pieces. It came with this thing, which you're supposed to like stack on the sides here. And that's what you're supposed to set your stuff on. Obviously, I haven't used it. And then it came with some stuff like this. Ginger Root asks, "What's my knife EDC today?" Well, I'm very ashamed to say it, but I don't have a knife in my pocket right now. Earlier, I was carrying a case peanut, but since I've been out here cooking and stuff, I haven't had a knife in my pocket. I've got my Levi's on, my polo shirt, you know, kind of nerd wear or whatever. Let's see, how are we doing here? I gotta look. Okay, so your smaller pieces are gonna get done quicker. So I'm gonna put that on my little plate. And that's plenty done. So let's see how everything else is doing here. All right, so the rest of this needs to cook a little bit more, and that's fine. Wow, that looks great. Uh, wow. Oh yeah. Hmm. I think this one is done too. You can see it's flank steak that you slice really thin, and I actually butterfly it. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube of how to butterfly stuff. So I didn't record that earlier in the video. I told you what the marinade was, and that should be enough to get you started. Okay, this little one is close. That little one needs flipped. This little piggy went to market. Oh yeah. Boom. I think this one's done too. Oh yeah, look at that. Mmm. 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 Wow. All right, so we're cooking. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? I'll sit. Uh, as of right now, we still have to make some guacamole, and I'll show you how to make that. And we also have to assemble the burritos, and I'll show you how to do that. Um, This is a little bit early for dinner. Oh my God. Mm, oh, oh, mm, mm, oh, yeah. So, this recipe is a good recipe for carne asada. I got it from my one of my Mexican friends. Okay, how are we doing here? Let's look. All right, there's another piece that's done. Boom. There's a piece that's done. Do you consider myself a prepper or homesteader? Are you planning to attend any more survival schools? As of right now, I'm not. I don't have any plans on survival schools. So that was answering Jay Watterson. Um, if I need to learn about a specific environment that I don't know a lot about, I would do that. If I do another expedition that involves a lot of alpine stuff, I would probably go back for a refresher course at and do some mountaineering. Uh, you can get fucked up in mountaineering very, very quickly. And so I would probably go back and do another course in mountaineering um, prior to doing any big expedition stuff. The other environment that I don't know anything about that I would consider taking a course on, but there's so few opportunities in this particular realm for adventure that I don't really know that there's a lot of survival courses for this particular environment. Well, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about going out on open water, and I'm not talking about your lake that you can see across, or even maybe one of the Great Lakes would qualify. But really, what I'm talking about is trying to set off from LA and end up in Hawaii on a boat, right? So that's an environment that I really know very little about, and that's a huge hole in my knowledge base. And so if I was going to take another course, it would be something like that. Uh, Me gusta la cucina. Awesome, thanks. He really likes my kitchen. Well, we're cooking outside, um, and well, inside too. Uh, so, as far as survival courses, the only one that I would take right now would be a seafaring course, um, because I really know nothing about that environment. But I did buy the books that Morris Kahansky told me to buy, and I have been reading through them, but still, there's nothing like actually getting experience in the environment, um, and controlled experience. Have you thought about doing a through hike of the Appalachian Trail, Pacific, or CD? I have thought about it. The problem being the amount of time that I would have to commit to doing that, and the other thing is that the fact that it's been done like a billion times by your grandmother. Yes, I am interested in it. No, I don't think it's the right time for me. Now, as far as being a prepper or a homesteader, I'm really neither. I'm just an average guy from Iowa. So there you go. Look at that. Boom. Boom. Okay, let's go in and cut up this meat and cover it up. What books did Moores recommend to you? Um, let's go into the AIG library and I'll see if I can find one because this has to rest a bit before I cut it up anyway. Uh, I hope they're all where they should be. Otherwise, this is going to be a little bit of a long rambling segment. I will show you the book. Now, I paid big money for this book because it was written by a couple guys and they didn't make many copies of it. And because of that, it's a somewhat rare book. Moore's had it because Moore's goes to every goddamn dollar store in the country and every used book sale ever, and he looks for stuff. And he's able to find some really amazing stuff. And this was an amazing find, I would have to say, if we can find it here. Okay. Let's see. I'm not seeing it there. That's all BS. It's not there. Let me just look one more time and make sure it's not up there. Okay, so we're gonna have to, yeah, it's really not up there. So we're gonna have to go upstairs and look for it. Okay, so this book is a big hardcover. We have to go upstairs and find this book. I think it might be upstairs. I hope it is. Otherwise, it's in a box. In which case, I don't know what to tell you. Oh yeah, I think it's up here. All right. Let's see. Looking. Well, why don't we look together? Okay, I'll show you some pretty good books here. This is an old series that my mom had. That's kind of neat. And then I have some different books on plants. This is pretty good. It shows you how to build some stuff. This is about Dick Prenneke. He went up into Alaska. That's pretty good. This is Moore's book. This is a book on herbal stuff that Moore's recommended. This is a very good book on mountaineering. A couple other ones there about glacial travel. Here it is. This is the one. This is the book that Moore's recommended for that particular environment. The Sea Survival Manual. That, and then I have one other one that's actually even more rare than that. And let's see if we can find it here. So I'll put that there. You know, I have a bunch of books on plants. There it is. This is the, okay, so I said that was the book that Moore's recommended. That was one of them, but the one he really wanted me to get was this, and I had to buy this as a used book. Essentials of Sea Survival by Frank Golden and Michael Tipton. And so I've kind of looked through that. I can't say I've mastered any of it. And then of course the Boy Scout Manual. This is another book that Moore's recommended on mushrooms, but I'm totally chicken to mushrooms. And then, you know, a bunch of other books on different things. Anyway, so those were the books on sea survival. Actually, two of them. And the hard one to find is this one. That's the one that's very difficult to find. I paid big bucks for that, and I bought it from a library. Probably nobody ever checked it out. The University of Teesside or something. Anyway, who knows? All right, let's go cut some meat. Let's see here. Sorry about the house tour, impromptu. All right. Ooh, we're getting so close. This meat has rested a little bit. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, there it is. Boom. Boom. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this over here. And we have to do a little housekeeping here. Sorry about all of this. I want to get rid of the blender. That tomatillo salsa we made earlier is going to be great. Don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, I kind of need to. That's good stuff. Do just a little bit of housekeeping before we go on to the next step. All right, where is it? Yeah, here we are, cutting board, and we'll show it. Let's see. There we are. So now you can see the cutting board. So I have a knife. Have you read 6 Ways In and 12 Ways Out by George Jasper? No, I haven't. And these chat comments disappear minutes after I post this. So if you would do me a favor and put that as an actual comment, I'll check it out. So now I have the Carne Asada. We have to, here's the grain, right, running this way, up and down. We want to slice it against the grain. That's one way that it's going to be more tender. Oh yeah, look at that. And it just wants to fall apart. You saw how quick we cooked that, right? Well, this is one of the cheapest cuts of meat, but if you learn how to cook it correctly, you can totally do this and make a tasty dinner. So we'll cut up this stuff and I'll put it in a bowl and we'll assemble some burritos. What other questions do you have? I'm watching the screen as I cut this. My stupid laptop is not capturing the live chat as it should. There we go. Boom. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so I'm going to put this in a bowl. So there's our bowl. And I'm just going to put that in there. This stuff is fantastic. I can't even imagine how good that is. So, cutting some more. Have you made any changes to my emergency bags? Well, basically what I have in my trunk, it depends, it varies on the season. So right now it's summer, and I have a flashlight. I have the ability to make a fire if I need to. I have like an emergency poncho type thing if I need it. I have a flashlight. I have a knife. I have a multi-tool. The ability to open canned goods and cook. And let's see, what else? Oh, I have a firearm in there. Now, in terms of what I would keep in my trunk during the winter, I'm going to keep some insulation in there. Look, so here it is. Fibers are running this way, so I'm going to slice across those fibers. Now watch this. It just falls apart. It just literally just falls apart. So tender. Like you pay big bucks for a steak. That's as tender as that. And with the right cooking techniques, you can totally make a fantastic meal. Fantastic steak. And then it's obviously the marinade makes it pretty good too. One of these times I should do another video on like the kind of stuff I carry, because I really don't carry all that much. But you know, the problem with some of these videos is they're so context dependent. So if you look back, I did a video on what I took to the jungle with me for 2 weeks. Well, that's because I pretty much know what that environment is going to do and what the weather's going to be. And that bag is totally different than the bag that I would take with me, say, to a mountain environment or a desert environment and these sorts of things. So, you know, one of the reasons I kind of dislike doing videos on that type of thing is that it becomes taken as a be-all, end-all, where it's really not. It's very context dependent. Hopefully that answers your question. Wow, this is going to be great. I'm already getting hungry for it. Wow, great steak. Carne Asada. Okay, what do you guys want to know? What else is up? What are you guys doing in your own life? Not just me. What are you up to? Let's talk about it. Anybody got anything fun planned on the horizon? What means do you use for water purification? That's really easy. I do not believe in filters. I use water purification tablets, and I like the two-part system. So the first one kills everything, and the second one neutralizes it. Now, I have literally drank water out of cow footprints using this method. Now, so let's say you're right on the edge of a swamp or some patch of water that's really nasty. One thing you can do is if this is the edge of the swamp here, you can come back here a couple steps and dig a hole and let the water from the swamp leach through the soil into your hole. Now that's not going to purify it for you, but it's going to take out a lot of the particulate stuff like bugs and duty flecks and all these sorts of things. And this is one of the methods that I have used in the past. At some point, you're going to have to, if you're in that situation, you're just going to have to recognize that you know, this isn't going to be great tasting water, and just kind of go with it. So here's our beef. Give me a minute. I'm going to start rolling up burritos. So I want to show you something. So I really like these trays. They're little stainless steel trays that fit down in these like plastic things, like that. So you serve it with the plastic thing. The plastic thing is cold. The tray is hot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make individual burritos and put them on here, and then bake them in the oven when it's time to actually bake them. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, like I said, but I'll roll up a burrito and show you what that's all about, and sauce a tray and show you what that's all about, and then you can imagine the rest, because we're getting on to kind of a long live stream here. Okay, so here's my enchilada sauce. I'll take a little bit of that, spread it out on the bottom here, real good. That looks like fantastic enchilada sauce. So that's our sauce for the plate. Now, I have another plate there. Move these over so you can see a little better. I'm going to put a little enchilada sauce on this other plate. And this is how we're going to roll up our burritos. Just a little bit. Like, I just want the hint of it on there. I don't want this to be overpowering. So here's a secret. At Walmart, you can get these Old El Paso restaurant style, super soft grande tortillas, and they're huge. These are the big tortillas like you want to make a big burrito. So I'm going to open one of these up. Look how big that tortilla is. That's like you would get at Chipotle or Qdoba. So I'm just going to rest it on this plate down in that sauce, right? Now, let's see. Juan Kim, is this a complete tangent, but can you talk about as your career as a doctor? Yes, I will eventually. Give me a minute though. So now I'm going to take some steak and put it in there. Boom. Right? Now I have some red rice. And if you look on the Average Iowa Guy live streams channel, if I'm not mistaken, there's a video on there on making fajitas, and I think I showed how to make this red rice. If not, it's easy enough to make another video. I have some refried beans. I'm going to put some refried beans in there. Spread them out a little bit. I'm a big fan of refried beans. There we go. So there's part of it. Rice, beans, meat. Now I've got some sauteed green peppers and onions that I did before you guys started watching. And just going to grab some, throw a little bit in there. Not too much, just a little bit. And now we'll do some cheese. Give me just a sec. Okay. Some cheddar cheese, just a little bit on the inside, not too much. Just a little bit. I think that the doctor thing would work better as another live stream, honestly. Now I'm going to fold this over, and so maybe someday shoot me an email or whatever, and maybe I'll do another live stream on it where I can answer questions on that. I'm a little bit distracted at the moment. Yeah, see that? And that. Now that's a burrito. So now I'm going to take that big ass burrito. I'm going to put it right here on this plate. Those stainless steel ones that I showed you earlier. In fact, I might put it up a little bit on the edge. You want the seam to be down. I'm actually going to sauce it now. Put some sauce over the top. It's a wet burrito after all, right? You want it kind of wet. And I'm just going to push it over to the side of there. Not sure why, but I have to go buy some burritos now. Well, now you know why. Because we're making burritos and these are damn good. It's going to be hard to get them this good purchased, though. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to move it off to the side a little bit. And then there'll be room for rice and beans to serve with it. You want to leave a little room. So there we are. Now I'm going to take a little bit more cheese and put it over the top. And basically, we're done. This just has to bake at 350 in the oven until the cheese is melted. And then you take it out and you put it on this little bake-like tray. Maybe put a little rice here, a little stuff there. And that's how to do a burrito. So I've showed that. I just wanted to quick show you some guacamole, right? I'll make the rest of these up in a minute. Guacamole is simple. You take an avocado, you take some lime juice, and you mash it up in a bowl, and you add salt and plus minus tomatoes, and make it into a good paste. The problem if I make it right now is that it may turn brown by the time we're ready to eat. We're not ready to eat yet because my kids are out playing. So that's Carne Asada burritos. The thumbnail for this I'll update later, and I will try to put a representative picture up. So hey, thanks for joining in the live stream. Thanks for watching. If you leave a like and a comment, I would really, really appreciate it. Also, if you get a chance, I have an actual live